I'm at an event. Charlie's doing the big fundraiser 3 years ago at Mar-a-Lago. And I would say exactly when this is. This is, you know how the annual one he does at the end of the year at Mar-a-Lago? It's got to be end of 21 or end of 22. It's when DeSantis is doing well. When would that be? When did DeSantis launch his book? 5 months before he launched his book. It could be December of 21. Can you pull? He launched in March or May of 22. 23. Okay, so then that's February 20th, 2023, 2 months prior to that. So December of 2022, we're at Mar-a-Lago. And Charlie's up there, the great late Charlie, which we both love. I've seen what you said about him as well. May he rest in peace. He's up there doing his thing, and he raises some $41 million. And I'm just sitting there watching everybody. And all I'm paying attention to, I'm not in this space. I'm a business guy. So I'm new to the political space the last 5 years. And just because I have opinions, it's not like I'm somebody that's, can run. I'm not born here, so it's not like I don't have any interest for governor whatsoever. I'm interested because it's combat sport, and that excites me, right? I'm just sitting, I'm like, okay. One lady gets up and says, we want to know, some of you guys who usually give, you know who you are. I've been watching you every year when you come to the TPUSA event. You're not giving any money here because you're worried whether Charlie's going to be Team Trump or Team DeSantis. You guys should give because you trust Charlie, not whether he's going to support Trump or DeSantis. And I said, okay, that's exactly what I came here for. And then I sat there and I saw the other person. And because of that, we're deciding to give, I don't know what the number was, $2 million. Probably in her late 70s, early 80s, this lady. Very attractive, very well put together, strong presence. Great. And then I said, Charlie has to deal with making all of these guys happy. Some are Christians. Many are Jews. Some are pro-Trump, pro-business. Some are G3 money, which means they didn't build the money, so they want to give the money away, so they're probably more liberal than conservative. Some are G1 money. G1 money are probably going to be more Trump than DeSantis. And then some are more hardcore conservative, like old school conservative Reagan, and Trump's a disruptor. And I said, what a tough job to have. So that's why when I watch and see what you guys have to do, how do you manage all these personalities that may or may not agree with you? What do you tell them? Do you call them? Do you have the one-on-one conversations? How do you manage these relationships?
Man, I can't tell you how 100% accurate and astute that is. In fact, Charlie and I would occasionally, 2 or 3 times a year, commiserate on that. Not complaining. We're grateful, truly, for all of those people, and not just because of the material resources that they would give our respective organizations, because every single one of those people is a patriot, right? And we're grateful for them. And so the way I manage it, I know that he did an exceptional job. The way that I attempt to manage that is to have conversations with people. I have an open door policy at Heritage. I am on the phone a lot with a lot of different people, policymakers, donors, donor prospects, friends out in the movement. But I will tell you that there are 2 things that are really key, actually 3, I would say. The first is, and I try to lead with this, articulate a very clear vision about where we're going. Mm-hmm. Because that means that in almost every gathering of the center right, of conservatives, libertarians, people who like free market, people who are social conservatives, almost every gathering, there's going to be 80 to 90% agreement on that aspirational vision. And so at Heritage, what we're doing to that end is focusing on the American family, on the dignity of work, on free enterprise, on national security, on citizenship, what it means to be an American, including an American who immigrates and assimilates here into our culture, right? And so that aspirational vision is key. But the second thing is to be transparent. And I think the news cycle that Heritage went through over the last few months, which we didn't just weather, but we flourished through, is because of that ethos we have of transparency. But the third thing is we have to recognize that leaning on not just my particular faith, but I think almost anyone of faith would say this, we're called to do what we do, not just to win elections, not just to have our favorite policy enacted.
You're called.
Yes.
When you say we, who is we? We as
we at Heritage are called.
Okay.
Every single one of us. We're non-sectarian, but almost every single person at Heritage is deep faith. Of course, we respect them all. But every one of us is called to wake up every day and not just help good policy get implemented, however we're going to do that, but to be cheerful warriors because we love that aspirational vision so much. And I say all of that because it makes those relatively infrequent conversations of differences of opinion be put in context. And I'll give you a story, an example. I've got a friend now. He's a longtime heritage donor. He's a friend who's a retired OBGYN. And he sent me I won't use his name because it sounds like I'm being nasty to him. It's quite the opposite, as you will see. But he sent me this email about a year or two into my tenure at Heritage. And he said, Kevin Roberts, I know that you are a big pro-lifer, and I know that pro-life is a big issue for Heritage. We work on every issue. We're one of the few entities that does. And he said, but you emphasize it so much for reasons I can't understand. Yeah, I'm reading this the way I think he's writing it. That I'm just thinking we're not going to be donors. Well, I called him. And I said, David, I'm not calling to restore your gift. I'm calling to listen. He said, well, I'm surprised that you called me. I said, why? He said, because the email was a little hot. I said, no, talk to me. I genuinely want to listen. You and I, going back to transparency, this guy and I, you and I have a difference of opinion on this issue. You have a difference of opinion with Heritage. We're not going to change our position because you have this difference of opinion. But I'm wondering if maybe you can remember that we agree 100% on all of these other issues that we work on. And I'll tell you, up until this very moment that I tell this story, not only did he continue to be a donor and has expanded his giving, but more importantly
Was he
than
Christian or Jewish?
Christian.
Okay.
Although there are stories like that with Jewish friends, especially over the last few months. But the second thing is we've become good friends. And while we still have a difference of opinion on that issue, that's not a deal breaker for him or for us at Heritage.
I love that.
That's how we operate.
Yeah, I foresee being like that, right? Because when we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.